Hi, Yemi and Dr. Grady. Can you please explain in 1 Samuel chapter 28, when Saul asks a medium for Samuel, was it Samuel's spirit or was it an evil spirit? Would God allow Samuel's spirit to come through a medium if the Bible clearly states such things are sinful? Also, why could David marry many women? God bless you.
Saul made some big mistakes. He stopped relying on God. He stopped going to the God of the temple. He stopped seeking God through the priesthood and those sorts of things. And he would then fall into going to this witch at Endor. Now, she's a witch. She makes her living, for the most part, telling people what they want to hear and taking their money.
Yep.
When this image of the prophet shows up, even she is surprised. Okay. However, it was not Samuel. What it was a demon who was simulating Samuel.
Yep.
Because God would not allow a witch to bring Samuel up out of paradise for this purpose. That's ridiculous. And so what's happening is you've got a demonic spirit, which would have been a familiar to the witch, and he is simulating the appearance of Samuel. But Saul made huge mistakes there because he was no longer going to God. He was going basically to Satan to get information, and of course he would be judged, as was Jonathan, by them dying at Mount Gilboa, falling to the Philistines. Now, in terms of David having many wives, of course, this was a common practice of kings throughout the world. And of course, David's son Solomon would have more. But it was not an uncommon practice in those days. Now, we look at that as polygamy. And again, certainly we don't condone it today. But in those days, it was accepted practice by many. Now, that's not God's plan. God's original plan for marriage is revealed in the Garden of Eden. One man, one woman, united for a lifetime. That's it. But as I like to point out, people often mess up God's plans, especially when you talk about kings and their egos.